Hello, everyone. Thank you once again, viewers, for tuning in to this episode of the Principal Conference. And today, I'm going to go over the 10 examples of what teachers need to look for in for us principals as we do our periodically observations on the classrooms. So here is, the different, type of steps on what to look for. Number one, look for evidence of a positive learning environment. Okay? We always, have to make sure, the student is in a positive learning environment. This could include student work on display, positive messages or quotes posted around the room, and students who seem engaged and happy about their learning. Number two, we look for evidence of effective classroom management. That means this includes things like a well-organized and tidy classroom, a clear schedule or lesson plan posted in the room, and students who are following directions and working quietly. Number three, we look for evidence of engaging and challenging instruction. This includes things like students working on complex tasks, teacher using a variety of instructional strategies, and students who appear to be deeply engaged in their learning. Number four, we look for evidence of student collaboration. This includes students working in small groups, students sharing ideas, and students who seems to be helping each other learn. Has to be on the collaborative, scenario with the students. Teamwork, team building. Number five, we look for evidence of student creativity. This includes students working on projects that are not simply regurgitation of information. Students using a variety of materials to create something new, and students who are taking risks with their learning. Number six, we look for engagement between the teacher and all the students. Meaning, when you are observing the classroom, we make sure to pay attention to how the teacher is interacting with the students. Are they speaking to all students equally? Are they making eye contact with everyone in the room? Do they seem to be engaging with all students, even though who are not participating ethically in class? Number seven, we look for students' reaction to the lesson. In addition to observing the teacher, also take a look at the students and see how they are reacting to the lesson. Are they paying attention? Do they seem interested in what is being discussed? Are they asking questions or making comments? If you see that a majority of the students seem disengaged. That is something to note. Number 8, very critical. Look for a well-organized lesson. As you observe the lesson, take note of how well organized it is. Is there a clear objective or goals for the lesson? Is the material presented in a logical order? Are the activities structured in a way that makes reasonable sense? If you feel like the lesson is disorganized or chaotic, there's something to mention. Number 9, look for the lesson to be appropriate for the level of the class. Defining by when you are observing as a principal a lesson, be sure to consider whether or not it is appropriate for the level of the class. Is the material too easy or too difficult for them? Are the activity too simple or too complex? If it seems like the students are struggling or not being challenged enough, that is something worth mentioning. Lastly, number 10. Number 10 is a big one, very. Look for a good balance of a whole group in small group work. I'm going to repeat that. Look for a good balance of whole group in small group work. Meaning, when you are observing a lesson, pay attention to how much time is spent on whole group versus small group work. There should be a good balance of both in order for all students to be engaged and supported. If you feel like there is too much whole group work or too much small group work, that is something to note. Now, as I broke down the different barriers of steps of what to look for when we does observation and how you as a beginning teacher want to become a creative or innovative teacher of a master of your classroom, that's on what you should be, your main priorities, what you need to, have, noted in your class so you can, master every step, every type of every stage while you are teaching. And as you can easily see, there's a lot to consider when observing a classroom. By focusing on instructional, social, emotional, and cultural look-fors, us principals can get a well-rounded view of what is happening in their schools and identify areas needed improvement. So next time you on a walkthrough or observation when you become an educator, refer to this blog, to this, post of mine, my blog, my Instagram, my YouTube posts, and use the information to guide your conversations with your other collaboration teachers. So, like always, viewers, leave your comment section with all your questions and concerns in the comment section. And no question is, redundant or off limits, because when you don't know something, you have to ask. No question is redundant. So feel free to ask, and like always, I will be proudly to answer your questions and concerns with the best of my ability and my knowledge. So hopefully this video gave you some more insight on what us principals do on a day-to-day basis in observation. So hopefully, when you, as always, as you embark on your educational, career, you can look back at my YouTube channel and say, hey, Dr. McDaniel, taught this in his channel. So let me go back to this tool and use this as a footnote. And as always, I am happy to help. So the video was brought to you by yours truly, Dr. McDaniel, and I hope each and every one of you have a blessed and wonderful day.